This is the OTB Network.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. This program is brought to you by Parting Glass Racing. We've had a busy weekend here at Saratoga, but we've also had some great stakes racing out around the country. We are going to start in New Jersey at Monmouth Park, where on Saturday afternoon they had 3-year-olds in action on the turf in the Restoration Stakes at 9 furlongs. We'll join the Restoration in progress.
47-1 was the half mile. Up the back stretch. Lighthouse Sound a half length in front. Lonesome Street draws closer second by 3. Then stablemates the Cognac Kid and Key to the Empire right together. In between them it's Teeks North. Beauchois still going well enough, 5 lengths off the lead. Double O Uno's been put to a ride. And on the outside it's Thunder Brew. 3/4 in 1:10-4. Around the far turn. Lighthouse Sound is still there. Lonesome Street moves up right alongside. Teeks North's going to come 3 wide. Beauchois 4 deep as they turn for home. And here is Lonesome Street right alongside the leader. And now Teeks North comes on with Beauchois to the outside, and Lighthouse Sound tries to battle on, but it's now Teeks North and Beauchois and Teeks North. And Jose Valdivia Jr. win the Restoration over Beauchois. And then Lighthouse Sound and Lonesome Street.
Teeks North moves into Stakes Company and scores the victory by a length over Beauchois, who was in off of a win here at Saratoga most recently. Lighthouse Sound makes the early running and settles for third. Teeks North moves in off to Stakes Company off of an allowance performance last time out and looks like an interesting 3-year-old to follow on the grass. He is a dark bay or brown gelded son of Northern Fleet from Tewksbury Road by High Honors. Bred in Florida by Brinlin Farm and owned by Jules Boutel. Trained by Justin Salosto and ridden to victory by Jose Valdivia Jr., Teeks North covers the 9 furlongs in 146.53. We'll head into the Sunday card now at Monmouth Park, and they had a couple of very interesting races starting out the stakes program there. On the turf, we had 2-year-olds in the Junior Champion.
They're racing in the Junior Champion Stakes. And Sleepless Dixie came out running on the lead. There goes Dos Lunas right alongside, and Dos Lunas is going to grab the lead, and Sleepless Dixie will be reined back running in second position early. Valiant Star is next, and now System Ready and Valiant Star moving together after Dos Lunas. It's a fast pace into that turn. Sop Choppy went extremely wide there. Then comes Wild Exchange down on the inside. Curious Luck is after that, and then A Brilliant Idea, and Vashti 22-2 was the first quarter onto the backstretch. Dos Lunas the leader, the pace settling down. Valiant Star second to the outside. Right there is System Ready with Sleepless Dixie along the rail. The pace slowed down noticeably here. It's 3 lengths back to Wild Exchange. Sop Choppy is next on the outside, and then Curious Luck. And the trailers are A Brilliant Idea and Vashti, who's been completely outrun. 46-1 was the half. Into the far turn, Dos Lunas and A Barcoa lead the way a length and a half. Sleepless Dixie is running in second. System Ready is third. Curious Luck takes fourth on the inside. And then it's Valiant Star. A Brilliant Idea starting to gain some ground. 5 lengths off the lead as they turn for home. Dos Lunas in front. Sleepless Dixie, A Brilliant Idea on the far outside, and System Ready. Dos Lunas the leader. A Brilliant Idea on the outside comes on. Sleepless Dixie third. A Brilliant Idea. And Garrett Gomez pull away from Dos Lunas in the Junior Champion. Sleepless Dixie was third, then System Ready.
A Brilliant Idea making the way here and getting the win by 2.5 lengths. Very nice effort by this horse, who was 3-1. To give you an idea about the quality of the field, not necessarily a strong group of horses. This horse was a maiden heading into this race, and although this horse did run very well in a Belmont Park maiden on the grass, the most recent effort had been on the main track at Monmouth Park. A solid move to get back onto the turf, and score very well from nearly last to first over Dos Lunas, with Sleepless Dixie completing the order of the top three. A brilliant idea is a 2-year-old bay daughter of a Fleet Alex from Rutledge Bellado by St. Bellado, bred in Kentucky by Rutledge Farm and Herman Greenberg. Owned by George and Laurie Hall, trained by Kelly Breen, and ridden to victory by Garrett Gomez, A Brilliant Idea covers the mile on the turf in 1:35.50. Next up, it's fillies and mares in action at Monmouth Park and Sunday afternoon's Grade 2 Molly Pitcher Breeders' Cup Stakes.
And they're all in line. They're racing in the Molly Pitcher. And a good start for the favorite Malibu Prayer. Stage Trick is going to go up to challenge her early. Then it's Queen Martha away running in third. Just Genda fourth along the rail. And Milwaukee Appeal will trail the field as they race for the first turn. And it's going to be the long shot Stage Trick to set the pace. Garrett Gomez will let her do that as he sits second with Malibu Prayer on that first turn. Now 2.5 lengths off the lead. It's another 2.5 back to Just Genda, who's racing inside of Queen Martha. Milwaukee Appeal is trailing, and she's 6 lengths off the lead. 23-3 was the opening quarter for Elvis Trujillo and Stage Trick, who lead them onto the backstretch. Malibu Prayer taken to the outside for a clear path. She's now a length back. Queen Martha and Just Genda are right next to each other. Just Genda third on the inside, Queen Martha alongside, and now she's 3.5 lengths off the lead, and it's another 2.5 to the trailer Milwaukee Appeal. 47-3 the half-mile time, and now Malibu Prayer makes her move for the lead. Malibu Prayer takes over into the far turn. Just Genda is moving well to the outside and is now second. Stage Trick's had enough. Queen Martha's come under a ride. She's got to do better. Then it's Milwaukee Appeal, who now moves into fourth. But it looks like a 2-horse race here. Just Genda on the outside. And at the rail, Malibu Prayer, 3/4 in 1:11-3. They're into the stretch. And Just Genda has the lead. It's Just Genda in front. Malibu Prayer all out to stick with her, and it's a long way back to Milwaukee Appeal, who's third as they come to the 16th pole, where Just Genda has put away Malibu Prayer. And Just Genda and Terry Thompson have won the Molly Pitcher by 3.5 lengths. It was Malibu Prayer second, then Milwaukee Appeal and Queen Martha.
Just Genda picks up the victory here. A nice effort, a little bit of an upset. Now, an $8 mutual isn't a wild upset, but she did score over the odds-on favorite Malibu Prayer with Milwaukee Appeal back in third. Of course, Just Genda has been a familiar face here on Horses and Courses, a multiple stakes winner based out of the Mid-Atlantic. She was third most recently in the Lighthouse Stakes to Malibu Prayer, who in the interim had come to Saratoga and scored in a Grade 1 Ruffian. Just Genda turns the tables on her rival. She is a 4-year-old filly, a daughter of Menifee from Liberty School by Pine Bluff, bred in Kentucky by Lavin Bloodstock Services and owned by Larry and Cindy Jones, trained by Cindy Jones and ridden to victory by Terry Thompson. Just Genda covers the mile and a 16th in 1:43.52. We'll head north of the border next for stakes racing action this past weekend at Woodbine. Starting things out Saturday afternoon, fillies in the Ontario Colleen will join the Ontario Colleen in Progress.
And it's the Damsel winner, Barracks Road, on a lead of a length and 3/4. Dixie Chicken in a second. Hunter's Tiger Paw third with less than a half mile to go. Lucy Ring is out of trouble on the outside in fourth position. Then Miss Lola Crescenda down toward the rail. Followed by Exclusive Love and No Explaining. Jenny So Great, the Salmon Sharp Secretary. And they're still chasing Barracks Road as they turn for home. Barracks Road at the quarter pole. This long shot Dixie Chicken is running huge on the outside. Then Miss Lola. Exclusive Love down the center of the track, and No Explaining is kicking into gear on the grandstand side. Barracks Road still there, almost home. Dixie Chicken, Jenny So Great, No Explaining on the far outside. The Damsel winner, Barracks Road, is going to win the Ontario Colleen. Tired but got there. Jenny So Great second, a 3-horse show photo between Son Dixie Chicken and No Explaining.
Barracks Road picks up the win. A nice effort by this horse on the front end. Not always the easiest thing to do on this course, and Barracks Road scores by a length and 3/4 in off of a close-up third last time out right here at Saratoga in the Hattie Mosley. She scores over Jenny's So Great, and a dead heat for third between Dixie Chicken and No Explaining. Barracks Road is a bay filly, a daughter of elusive quality, from Padmore by French Deputy, bred in Ontario by Eugene Melnick and owned by Melnick Racing Stable, trained by Mark Casse and ridden to victory by Corey Fraser. Barracks Road covers the mile on the turf in 1:34.95. We'll continue with stakes racing action over the weekend at Woodbine. Sunday's stakes feature older horses going 7 furlongs on the turf in the Play the King.
They're off in the Play the King Stakes, and Fatal Bullet broken stride. And it's Fatal Bullet quickly for the early lead. Smoky Fire comes on second now, and Signature Red is third. Jungle Wave down to the inside in fourth. Southdale fifth early and 3 lengths off the lead. And Porter's Gate and Field Commission as they zip up the backstretch. And it's Fatal Bullet who leads it by a length and a half over Smoky Fire. Down to the inside is Jungle Wave. 23 seconds for that opening quarter. And they're coming to Fatal Bullet quickly now. Here comes Jungle Wave. Fatal Bullet let out a notch, widens again to a neck. Jungle Wave presses on from the outside. Smoky Fire is third. Signature Red to the inside of Southdale. Those two run in tandem, 2.5 lengths off the lead. Then Porter's Gate and Field Commission. They ran a half in 45 and 4. They're at the top of the stretch in the Play the King. On the inside, Fatal Bullet. On the outside, Jungle Wave is set down now, and here comes Smoky Fire. Smoky Fire, the Bold Venture winner, is on the grandstand side trying to catch Jungle Wave, and Fatal Bullet. What a spellbinding renewal of the Play the King. On the far outside, Smoky Fire, Jungle Wave, Fatal Bullet. What a finish! Smoky Fire, I believe, won it. Smoky Fire by the narrowest of margins over Jungle Wave and Fatal Bullet in the Play the King.
Smoky Fire, this horse has really gotten very, very good. He won the Bold Venture a couple of races back. Last time out, headed here to Saratoga, ran up the track to majestic perfection, but it is fair to say that this horse much better when running either on turf or on the synthetic surface, gets back to his home base and scores by a game neck over Jungle Wave. It was only another neck back to Fatal Bullet, a long-time dependable candidate both on the turf and on the poly track while sprinting. Smoky Fire is a grey roan gelded son of Smoke Glacken from Destroy by Housebuster. Bred in Ontario by Mel P. Lawson and owned by Jim Dandy Stable, trained by Sid Ettard and ridden to victory by Jono Jones, Smoky Fire covers the 7 furlongs on the turf in 1:20.83. We'll pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we've got more great racing action. We're going to head out to the West Coast for racing from Del Mar and then return to New York. Please stay with us. We'll head out to the West Coast now as we return to horses and courses and terrific stakes racing action this weekend indeed in California. We'll start things out early on the card at Del Mar on Saturday afternoon, 3 and up in the Del Mar Mile.
And away they go to a perfect start. On the outside, Enriched is setting straight off for the lead. Enriched goes clear. In second is Bruce's Dream. Inside of that, Scenic Blast. They followed by Blue Chagall at the rail. Mudez is between horses, pulling pretty hard. And at the back, Meteor, but only 4 lengths would cover them all. Into the turn they go, and Enriched got an easy lead out here, not being bothered at all, just takes them along a steady pace, leads at a length and a half to Bruce's Dream, who's on a tight hold in second. Scenic Blast scrapes the paint in third, and Meteor's outside of him. Then we come back to Mudez and Blue Chagall, 6 lengths off the leader. No change in the order as they turn onto the backstretch, and Enriched couldn't have it easier out here. He's just loping them along a length and a half to Bruce's Dream, who's still very keen to go on. Then it's Meteor, Scenic Blast down at the rails, 3 lengths off the leaders. Mudez second last, and Blue Chagall quite content to trail. They've just run past the half-mile pole, and it's still Enriched showing the way just over a length to Bruce's Dream. Now there goes Meteor with an early run, and Meteor is moving up to take that leader on early now. Scenic Blast going well, but nowhere to go. Mudez up alongside, and Blue Chagall still going comfortably, but 5 off the leader. They come into the top of the lane now, and Enriched kicks on. Meteor second. Bruce's Dream looks for room. Behind that, Scenic Blast and Blue Chagall on the outside. They are homeward bound, and Enriched the leader to Meteor. Bruce's Dream the grey. Now Blue Chagall is let loose, coming flying on the outside, and Scenic Blast as well. Enriched in front, finding more to Meteor though. Enriched, Meteor, Bruce's Dream. Enriched going to go all the way, and Enriched has won the Del Mar Mile. Meteor second, Bruce's Dream third, and Blue Chagall finish fourth.
Enriched gets back onto the turf after trying the San Diego handicap last time out on the synthetic track, and he scores by 3/4 of a length on the front end over Meteor, with Bruce's Dream moving up in class and completing the order of the top 3. A couple of races back, he was a good third in the Eddie Reed here on the turf course at Del Mar. Obviously likes this surface quite well. Enriched is a dark bay or brown gelded son of Highbright from Lil Miss Leonard by Nostalgia's Star, bred in California by Carol Lingenfelter, owned by WC Racing, Westside Rentals, and Neil Haynes, trained by Doug O'Neill and ridden to victory by Joel Rosario. Enriched covers the mile in 1:34.83. Next up, heading back to Del Mar for the Grade 1 Mile and a Quarter Pacific Classic.
Now for the $1 million Pacific Classic, sponsored by TVG. Feel for the Classic, sent on their way to the roar of the Del Mar crowd, and what a perfect start that one was. Isle of Giants, as expected, immediately goes off to lead them. Temple City is right there in second. Hold Me Back in the white colours in the centre. The Usual QT is on the grandstand side. Battle of Hastings is tucked in down at the rail in the 5th spot, been followed by Unusual Suspect. In behind that, Awesome Gem, who's now 7 lengths off the leader. At the back, Richard's Kid and Dakota Phone. They're in no hurry at all as they go into the first turn. Pat Valenzuela and Isle of Giants taking them along as slow as he can out here. He leads it by a length. Temple City is sitting right there second. Garrett Gomez has Hold Me Back in a perfect spot third, 2.5 off the leader. The Usual QT in the red cap dropping in behind that leading trio now. Battle of Hastings scrapes the paint in 5th. He's 5 off the leaders. Then it's Crowded House and Unusual Suspect. Awesome Gem is back 3rd last. He's giving them 9 length start. Richard's Kid is moving up on the outside of him, and Dakota Phone is last. He's got to be a good 12 off the leader. They have a half-mile left to go in the Pacific Classic, and still Isle of Giants in front by a length. Temple City's travelling well in second though, and Temple City looms a big danger as he goes after Isle of Giants into the far turn, and Hold Me Back travelling well in third as well. Then it's the Usual QT. Crowded House making an early run. Battle of Hastings got to do a little better. Then Awesome Gem. Richard's Kid is 6 lengths off them. Dakota Phone is winding up. Unusual Suspect last. At the top of the lane in the big one, and Temple City in the white blinkers now puts his head in front. Immediately tackled by the Usual QT. On the outside, here's Richard's Kid in the gold colours coming home gamely. Crowded House is in there. Awesome Gem with a late run, and even Battle of Hastings. What Dakota Phone wide open. Richard's Kid looking to make it 2 in a row, and Richard's Kid strikes the front now from Crowded House, and Richard's Kid and Mike Smith have done it again. They've won the Pacific Classic. Crowded House was second, Dakota Phone from last to third, then Battle of Hastings. Dakota on the inside was Temple City, did not go on. The usual QTs in behind them, Unusual Suspect, Isle of Giant and Awesome Jab.
Richard's Kid had been a little bit dull since winning this race last year. He did win the San Antonio back in February, but it not necessarily been at his very best since returning from Dubai. He did run an okay third in the Cougar 2 last time out, set him up for a move forward, and he scores his second consecutive victory in this $1 million event, scoring at the expense of Crowded House, with Dakota Phone, the winner last time out at the San Diego, completing the top 3. Richard's Kid is a dark bay or brown 5-year-old son of Lemon Drop Kid from Tough Broad by Broad Brush. Bred in Maryland by Fitzhugh Limited and owned by Zabeel International, trained by Bob Baffert and ridden to victory by Mike Smith, Richard's Kid covers the 1 1/4 miles in 2:03.27. Next up, it's older sprinters in the Grade 1 Pat O'Brien.
And away they go. All broke beautifully. From the outside gate, it's Al Brujo setting off for the lead. Smiling Timer came out smartly. Along the inside, Canaan Doom. New Bay settling into 4th. Crown of Thorns as the orange cap, back 5 off the leaders, leaving New York now pretty keen to go on in the goal down at the rail, and that'll leave Hard Bill last, 8 off them. Past the 5/8 they go, and Al Brujo has cleared the field just over a length. On the far side is Smiling Tiger. Inside of that we have Canaan Doom, those 3 tightly grouped. Then it's New Bay, leaving New York in the goal down at the rail. Crown of Thorns is back in 6, gives them 6-length start and 4 more to Hard Bill. Into the turn they go, and Al Brujo by a length. Canaan Doom in second, Smiling Tiger on the far side, leaving New York down at the rail. New Bay's right behind them. Crown of Thorns has 6 to make up and 3 more to Hard Bill. They're at the top of the lane in the Pat O'Brien, and Al Brujo's hanging on to the lead to Smiling Tiger. Now Crown of Thorns is let loose in the orange cap, going to have to come down the centre of the track, and Hard Bill's running on late. Homeward bound now, and Al Brujo kicks away. Crown of Thorns looms the danger. Smiling Tiger can find no more. Al Brujo, Crown of Thorns going to run for the wire together, but Al Brujo's finding more. Crown of Thorns can't get him, and Al Brujo a very game winner. Al Brujo and Joel Rosario have taken the Pat O'Brien. Crown of Thorns second, Smiling Tiger third, and leaving New York finish 4th.
El Brujo picks up the victory. Nice effort by this guy who was 4th last time out to Smiling Tiger in the Bing Crosby. Here he turns the tables on that rival with a front-end victory at just under 4 to 1 over Crown of Thorns, a horse who's had a kind of on-again, off-again career. This was his first run since last year's Breeders' Cup. He returns and rallied strongly to finish second. Smiling Tiger completes the order of the top 3. El Brujo is a bay gelding, a 4-year-old son of Candy Ride from Enchanted Spell by Devil's Bag. Bred in Ontario by Windways Farm Limited, known by Arnold Zetcher Limited, trained by Bob Baffert, and ridden to victory by Joel Rosario, El Brujo covers the 7 furlongs in 1:21.70. Next up, we'll head back to Del Mar one more time. Sunday's stakes feature the Del Mar Handicap.
Going in. All set. Field sent on their 1 3/8 journey. They all began well. Falcon Rock a little slow into stride. That is worth repeating, going straight to the lead, but now there goes Red Eye Express around the field, and Red Eye Express will be the pacemaker. He's opening up on them now. Red Eye Express goes 3 clear of worth repeating. Then it's Megastar. Down at the rail comes Sporting Art in 4th. Banas Dues is back in the 5th spot. Falcon Rock has come through to be 6 in a tad tight here. On the far side we have Champ Pegasus and Dynamic Range between those two. Soul Candy's last. Through the stretch first time round, and Red Eye Express intent on setting this pace. It's a fast one too. Red Eye Express has opened up 7 lengths on them as they come past the stands first time round. Worth repeating is in the 2nd spot. Then it's Sporting Arc. Megastar's down at the rail. Buenos Dias is back in 5th position. Then comes Champ Pegasus, Falcon Rock behind that, Dynamic Range, and last of all is Soul Candy. They've just about covered half the journey now, and Red Eye Express racing a little off the rail is still all on his own alone out here, and Red Eye Express has opened up now to lead by 9. Worth Repeating is in second, then Megastar and Sporting Art. They followed by Buenos Dias. Behind that comes Champ Pegasus in the striped colours. Down at the rail is Falcon Rock, been followed then by Dynamic Range, and still the trailer is Soul Candy. They run to the half-mile pole. No stopping Red Eye Express now. He's committed to kick for home, and he does so willingly. He's opened up to lead by 10, 11 lengths into the turn now. Worth Repeating is in second, then Megastar. Down at the rail, Falcon Rock, been followed by Buenos Dias. Now the first one to make a move on the far side is Dynamic Range. Dynamic Range ridden along. Down at the rail we have Champ Pegasus, still 12 off the leader but travelling well. In behind that, Soul Candy and Sporting Art didn't fire today. Top of the lane and Red Eye Express breathing fire now. He's battling on the lead. Worth Repeating's coming to take him on down at the rail. Buenos Dias in the centre of the track. And now Champ Pegasus at the rail, and here comes Champ Pegasus. Champ Pegasus absolutely flying on the inside. On the outside, Buenos Dias between them, Worth Repeating. But it's Champ Pegasus, perfectly timed by Joel Rosario. Champ Pegasus, very impressive. Buenos Dias, Worth Repeating, and Falcon Rock tied to 4th.
Champ Pegasus picks up the win as the favorite by 1.25 lengths, rallying strongly with a 3-wide move over Buenos Dias, with Worth Repeating back in the 3rd spot. Champ Pegasus, a fairly lightly raced horse, certainly one to watch for. He is 3 for 7 lifetime. Off of a 2nd place finish last time out to Marlang in the Sunset. He gets the victory here, his first stakes win. This is a lightly raced horse, but certainly I think a youngster with a future. Champ Pegasus is a 4-year-old bay-son of Fusaichi Pegasus from Salt Champ by Salt Lake. Bred in Kentucky by Diamond A Racing and Arturo Vargas. Owned by the breeders and trained by Richard Mandella. Ridden to victory by Joel Rosario. Champ Pegasus covers the mile in 3 furlongs in 2:11.93. We'll head back home to New York, but before we head to Saratoga, we'll stop at Finger Lakes for the Saturday's afternoon stakes feature, 3-year-old New York bred fillies in the New York Oaks.
There's Turn to Gold. We're ready for our Saturday feature. And there they go. Azuka Ann fires out for the lead with Helena's My Mom and Regina's Wish. Magical Solution is right there in behind the leaders. Northern Berkshire to the inside. Freud's Notebook is in a good position through the early stages. Rogue's Jewel races inside of Doratory, and Turn to Gold goes with them from the outside. So it's Helena's My Mom dictating the tempo through the clubhouse turn. Regina's Wish is stalking from the 2nd spot. Azuka Ann is 3rd with Freud's Notebook forwardly placed in the clear, 3 lengths from the leader. Northern Berkshire gets a great ground-saving trip. And Magical Solution covers her up close to the action from the 6th position. It's a break of 3 lengths to Rogue's Jewel. Turn to Gold. Doratory splits them from the 2 path. A 24-2 opening quarter. Helena's My Mom has the lead from Azuka and the margins a length. Freud's Notebook is stalking sharply in a clear running position from the outside. Northern Berkshire is right there and in amongst the tempo. And also there is Regina's Wish and Magical Solution. First 6 separated by 3.5. Break of 2 lengths to Doratory covering Rogue's Jewel from the rail. Turn to Gold is still at the back. 48-3 for the half. Helena's My Mom's on the lead. A length from Freud's Notebook right there in 2nd. Break of 4 lengths to Azuka Ann. Now Rogue's Jewel is looking for a seam to split, and she's looking to close into the 3rd spot. Doratory tries to quicken with her. 3/4, 1:13-3. Helena's My Mom's on the lead from Freud's Notebook making her move. Here's Doratory, the maiden's running a big one, and Rogue's Jewel is right there. Freud's Notebook, Rogue's Jewel, Doratory to the far outside. Rogue's Jewel, Doratory to the far outside. Rogue's Jewel and Doratory in deep stretch. Who will it be in the New York Oaks? Maybe Rogue's Jewel, tight Rogue's Jewel, or Doratory. Freud's Notebook had to settle for 3rd, and finishing 4th was Helena's My Mom.
Rogue's Jewel, another horse in from Saratoga and scoring an out-of-town victory off a second-place finish in the Lake Luzerne here last time out. To Freud's Notebook, she turns the tables on that rival. She scores by a game, driving nose over Doratory, with Freud's Notebook back in the third spot. Rogue's Jewel is a dark bear brown filly, a daughter of Broken Vow from Dancing Blues by Cure the Blues. Bred in New York by Milford Farm and owned by the Blue Devil Racing Stable, trained by Carlos Martin and ridden to victory by Dennis Carr. Rogue's Jewel covers the mile in the 16th at 147.67. We'll head back home to Saratoga now, and we'll head into the beginning of last week. Starting on Wednesday, we'll head midweek. Wednesday's stakes feature for 3-year-olds on the New York bred side, the Albany Handicap.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Johannesburg Smile off to a good start there. And Stormy's Majesty. I.B. Boye is away third toward the inside. Mindsweep's right alongside him. And then hitting the note and 5 lengths back to Longshot Small Town as they round the clubhouse turn. There goes Johannesburg Smile now. Johannesburg Smile taking the lead early on here. Stormy's Majesty, though, right back at him on the inside. Into the backstretch run. Johannesburg Smile now lets it out a notch to lead by a length. Stormy's Majesty second on the inside. Well held is Mindswept. And I.B. Boye, the favorite, remains fourth after a solid quarter of 23 and 3/5 seconds. A break of 5 to an unhurried hit in the note. Long way back to Small Town. Midway down the backstretch run. Johannesburg Smile being prompted from the inside by Stormy's Majesty through a half-mile legitimate 47 and 4/5 seconds. Mindswept remains in the clear while running along in third. Johnny Velasquez keeping I.B. Boye within 2.5 lengths from the lead and down inside as they hit the far turn. Farther back hitting the note in Small Town. A bit more than 3 furlongs to go, and Stormy's Majesty now claims the lead. Stormy's Majesty is now in front. Johannesburg Smiles now second on the outside. Mindswept is in an all-out drive now, but no real response from Mindswept. Johnny Velasquez was resorting to the whip on I.B. Boye, and they've dropped 3 lengths behind Stormy's Majesty. Top of the stretch, Stormy's Majesty, the leader by 2. Johannesburg Smile is second. I.B. Boye is full out, still 4 lengths behind Stormy's Majesty. Johannesburg Smile trying to come back at him. I.E. Boye third as they come down to the wire. Stormy's Majesty, I.B. Boye final try. Photo finish. Stormy's Majesty and I.B. Boye closing late. Johannesburg Smile third.
Stormy's Majesty picks up the victory. A very nice effort by Stormy's Majesty, rebounding off a disappointing showing in the Jim Dandy. Now, he entered that race unbeaten after having run through his New York conditions. It was a big step forward for him that day, but I think it's fair to say that that the Jim Dandy form did hold quite nicely heading into the Travers. A little more, of course, on that one later. Stormy's Majesty sits a perfect trip, scores by a neck over the late-moving I.B. Boye, who was under a hard drive going all the way around the far turn. He ran on well through the lane to finish second. Johannesburg Smile, the pacemaker, settles for third. Stormy's Majesty is a 3-year-old chestnut son of Stormy Atlantic from Raffy's Dream by Raffy's Majesty. Bred in New York by the Majesty Stud and owned by the breeder, trained by Dominic Galuccio and ridden to victory by Edgar Prado, Stormy's Majesty covers the mile and a furlong in 150.55. We'll head into the Thursday card now, and Thursday's stakes feature the Grade 1 New York Turf Riders Cup for older horses. On the steeplechase side, we'll pick up the Turf Riders Cup in progress.
And Virginia Minstrel. Now they're coming into the backstretch run here, and it is Swaggerstick who is led throughout here. Swaggerstick leads with 5 furlongs to go. He's up and over and extends that lead over that jump. Slipaway fell 2.5 lengths behind. And then it's Sermon of Love, followed by Divine Fortune on the outside fourth. Arcadius, here's Swaggerstick, up and over again, still clear. Swaggerstick still clear of Slipaway by 1.5 lengths as they move into the far turn. Sermon of Love and Divine Fortune, they're running third and fourth. 3 lengths back to Arcadius, who's now dropped 8 lengths from the lead. Swagger Stick has led for almost 2 miles here. And now he's still in front. Still in front by 2 as they come to the stretch for the final time with just one more fence remaining in the New York Turf Riders Cup. Swagger Stick is the leader. But Sermon of Love looms on the outside second as they come into the final fence with Slipaway back in third. Swagger Stick and Sermon of Love 1-2. Arcadius on the scene late. Swagger Stick, oh, he missed it just by a beat. Here's Arcadius on the inside. Here's Sermon of Love on the outside. Sermon of Love has taken the lead. Arcadius is running at him as time is running out, and Sermon of Love has won. Sermon of Love has won in a tight finish here over Arcadius, Swagger Stick, and Divine Fortune.
Another exciting finish in a steeplechase, especially if you're a fan of Jonathan Shepard, as here he runs 1-2 once again, this time with Sermon of Love scoring the victory off of a stalking trip. Arcadius making a very similar willing move for the place spot early in the meet. He ran a good second behind a different horse from his own barn, Jonathan Shepard's operation. That was Divine Fortune that scored over him that day. But here he's second behind Sermon of Love. It was Swagger Stick, the pace setter, holding on for third. Sermon of Love is a bay gelding, a son of Pulpit from Plenty of Sugar by Ascot Knight, bred by F. Eugene Dixon in Kentucky, owned by William Pape, trained by Jonathan Shepard, who scored yet another exacta finish. With Brian Crowley aboard, Sermon of Love covers the 2 miles and 3 furlongs in 4:36.83. We'll continue now with Saratoga Stakes racing action on Friday afternoon. The Grade 2, Bernard Baruch on the grass.
They're in the gate. And they're off. An uneventful start for Get Stormy, who comes away in mid-pack, but right alongside it'll be National Kid. And indeed, National Kid takes the lead. And Get Stormy defers to National Kid early on here. Get Stormy reserved in second place under the line the first time. Sudden War third, Rogue Victory fourth. Over on the inside, Belletti is fifth. Right next to him, it's What's the Script? And Radical Sabbatical is taken in hand and is drafting in behind horses in the opening stages here. So National Kid is the leader, and Get Stormy is second. He's still on hold. Javier Castellano got a good hold there of Get Stormy, who's tracking second after an opening quarter in 23 4/5 seconds. There's a break of almost 4 lengths back to Sudden War, who runs along in third. They picked up the tempo a bit, half 47 1/5 seconds down the backstretch run. National Kid, Get Stormy still 1-2. Sudden War runs in third. What's the Script is fourth on the inside, followed by Rogue Victory, who's about 6 lengths from the lead. And it's a break of another 5 back to Radical Sabbatical, and Belletti has dropped back to last position. Belletti is 11 lengths behind with just 3 furlongs to go. And around the far turn, 3/4 in 10 4. National Kid leads. Get Stormy has been second throughout, but now he's making his move as the field turns for home. National Kid narrowly. Get Stormy right alongside second. Down toward the inside, Radical Sabbatical, and they're 1 furlong out. Get Stormy is up for the lead. Get Stormy, spurred on by Javier Castellano, have overtaken front-running National Kid. Radical Sabbatical, Get Stormy from just off the pace today, won it by 3. National Kid second, Radical Sabbatical third, 4-way photo for fourth.
Picking up his second graded stakes of the meet was Get Stormy, horse who has a terrific amount of natural speed, but he did allow National Kid off of the second time off of the layoff to dominate the pace. It did not matter as Get Stormy rated kindly, engaged at the top of the stretch, and drew clear to win by almost 3 lengths over National Kid, who was making a significant move up in class off of a rather spotty career, just limited starts. He had been sidelined more than once, but it does look like he is a horse to watch. Radical Sabbatical rallies well from off the pace to finish third. Get Stormy, a 4-year-old bay son of Stormy Atlantic from Foolish Gal by Kiri's Clown was bred in Kentucky by Mary A. Sullivan, is owned by the Solomar Stable and trained by Tom Bush. Ridden to victory by Javier Castellano, Get Stormy, who had earlier won the 4-star Dave, scores in the Bernard Baruch in 146.70. We will pause now for one more brief message. When we return, we will be heading into a very busy weekend's worth of stakes racing action at Saratoga. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We will continue now with the Saturday Stakes program from Saratoga, and a great day of racing it was. The weather cooperated. We had a terrific stakes card. Kicking off the stakes was Fillies and Mares in the Grade 2 Ballston Spa.
Ready? And they're off. Miss Keller, and there goes Silver Reunion and Dynaslu. Dynaslu and Silver Reunion, and they'll go head-to-head for the early lead here. Then over on the inside, Scalera gets a spot early on down toward the inside. But in the meantime, there goes Silver Reunion, who's running aggressively to the front and now clears the field by 3. Dynaslu second on the inside. Cherokee Queen runs in third. Then it's Mekong Melody, 3 wide round the first turn. She's fourth. Scalera hugs the hedge fifth toward the inside. Merrim has found a comfort zone. She's rating beautifully, while sixth, about 7 or 8 lengths from the lead. A break of 3 to Miss Keller. Another 4 back to Strike the Bell. And farther back in the field are Fola, the last of them all, Danza. Down the backstretch run, 23-2 was the opening quarter here. And the half was up in a solid 47-2 for Silver Reunion, who leads with less than a half mile to go. Dynaslu continues on in second. And then Cherokee Queen getting nudged along while third. Mekong Melody in the clear fourth on the outside. Scalera. Merrim is still rating. Merrim is still about 7 lengths from the lead and still on hold as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Silver Reunion continues to bowl along as they turn for home. Silver Reunion, top of the stretch, 2.5 length lead. Dynaslu is full out running in second. And then it's Scalera running in third. Merrim there on the far outside. Danzon's coming with a good late run too. And so too Miss Keller on the outside. But here's Dynaslu up to engage Silver Reunion. And Dynaslu forges to the lead. It is Dynaslu the winner by a long neck over Silver Reunion. Miss Keller third, close for fourth between Danzon and Scalera.
The Ballston Spa goes to Dynaslu, who sits the perfect trip just off of the pacemaker Silver Reunion. The turf courses at Saratoga relatively kind to speed at this meet, and Rajiv Mehra running an enterprising race on the layoff horse Silver Reunion. She ends up settling for the second spot as Dynaslu, in off a very close-up fourth in the Grade 1. Diana at the beginning of the meet is able to come and catch her by a half a length. Silver Reunion settles for the second spot as Miss Keller rallies very strongly with a bit of a belated move under Javier Castellano to complete the order of the top 3. The winner, Dinah Slew, a dark bay or brown daughter of Dynaformer from Slew's Final Answer by Seattle Slew. Bred in Florida by Live Oak Stud, known by the Live Oak Plantation, trained by Seth Benzel and ridden to victory by Ibar Koa. Dinah Slew covers the mile and a 16th on the turf labeled firm in 140.58. We'll continue now with Saturday's stakes program, 3-year-old fillies sprinting in the victory ride.
They're in the gate. And they're off. My Jen off to a good start. So too Rapport. And Rapport streaks to the lead. My Jen now back second on the inside. Beyond All Boundaries moves up from third. Worst case scenarios between horses. Now fourth. Katie Now is fifth. 3 lengths from the leader Rapport. And then it's Sister Dawn, 6 toward the inside, Touching Beauty. And the trailer is Simply Spiteful as they race for the far turn. And Rapport knocks off a 22 flat opening quarter mile. But here comes Beyond All Boundaries to tackle her as they come to the top of the stretch. Beyond All Boundaries now moves right to the throat latch of Rapport. My Jen now takes to the outside, running third. Worst case scenario is fourth. Katie Now very wide off the turn. Simply Spiteful cut the corner. Top of the stretch, and Rapport's still there. 1 furlong to go. Rapport's got a 2-length lead, and she got a half in 44 and 2. Here's a final run from My Jen, now second, and Beyond All Boundaries is third. Rapport was sharp in victory in the victory ride. Won it by 3 in 109 and 3. My Jen was second. Beyond All Boundaries was third.
Rapport goes gate to wire and really made it a bit of a rout late, scoring off by 3.5 lengths over My Jen, who was in off a bit of a freshening. She had not seen racing action since suffering her first career defeat at Gulfstream on January 9th. Beyond All Boundaries, the favorite in the early betting, ended up as the second choice in the wagering behind Katie Now, who took a lot of late money. Beyond All Boundaries tracks the early pace and settles for third as Katie Now rallies to fourth. The winner, Rapport, a dark bay or brown daughter of Song and a Prayer from Irene's Talkin' by At the Threshold. Bred in Kentucky by Glencrest Farm Limited and owned by Thoroughbred Legends Racing Stable, trained by Bob Baffert, who had a terrific weekend on both coasts. Ridden to victory by Martine Garcia, Rapport covers the 6 in 109.66. Next up, it'll be Grade 1 fillies and mares in the Ballerina.
They're off. Warbling and Rightly So breaking together, and Rightly Slow, who came very wide just as they came out of the gate, has now been righted over to the inside, and Rightly So is a headstrong front runner here. Warbling is running in second, Jessica's back as third, and Informed Decision is fourth. Then there's a break of 4. Back to Qualia on the inside of Double by Design, and followed by First Passage, 6 lengths back to Pretty Prolific. Rightly So rattles off a 22 and 1 opening quarter mile. Warbling's not far behind with a half mile to go. Jessica's back third toward the inside. Julian Leperoux asking more from Informed Decision, but they're still about 4.5 lengths from the lead. Farther back, First Passage is coming alive. Around the far turn after a sparkling 44 and 4.5 mile. Rightly So still the leader. Warbling is there on the outside. And Qualia has been pulled up. Qualia has been pulled up off the turn. Top of the stretch now. And Warbling coming after Rightly So. They're head-to-head for the lead. Down inside, Devil by Design runs in third. First Passage. And Jessica is back and into the final 16th. Rightly So will go wire to win the Ballerina. And she prances home a 4-length winner. 122 and 2 is the final time. There's a 3-way photo for second.
In another front-end victory, it was Rightly So who came under a little bit of pressure in the early going by Warbling. Those two are going to end up running 1-2 around the racetrack. In fact, Jessica is back, sitting the third spot most of the way around the track, completes the order of the top three on a track that I think it's fair to say had been generally fairly kind, at least on the sprint side, to horses with good early speed. Off a nice victory last time out downstate, Rightly So brings her game to Saratoga. Scores, this was her first win here at the Spa. Rightly So, a dark bay or brown filly, a daughter of a Read the Footnotes from Fit Right In by Out of Place, was bred right here in New York by Sequel 2003 and owned by the Zayat Stable Limited, trained by Anthony Dutrow, ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez. Rightly So covers the 7 furlongs in 122.58. Head right back into Saturday's stakes program. 3-year-olds sprinting 7 furlongs in the Grade 1 King's Bishop.
And they're off. Discreetly Mine breaks sharply after that lead. Bank Merger there and Bulldog are in between those two, and from the inside comes Hurricane Ike up the backstretch, and Discreetly Mine on top. Bulldogger hounding him from the outside. Hurricane Ike down toward the rail runs in third. Bank Merger is on the far outside fourth, and Funny Bones in between those two, and they're closely followed by, in Jack's memory, a long way back, 8 lengths to Latigo Shore. Up the backstretch, sizzling quarter, 21 4/5 seconds. Discreetly Mine, and Bulldogger full throttle now round the far turn. Discreetly Mine, a narrow lead. Bulldogger still keeping after him all the way. 2.5 lengths back, and Funny Bone is third. The half in 44 seconds flat. Approaching the top of the stretch, Discreetly Mine's been running at breakneck speed and still holds the lead as they come to the top of the stretch. Bulldogger there on the outside. Here's the Funny Bone after Bulldogger on the outside. Hurricane Ike is there down toward the rail. Bank Merger, Latigo Shore so far behind, is arriving on the scene late, but Discreetly Mine is running a huge race this afternoon. He is still in front. Bank Merger is giving chase. Hurricane Ike toward the inside. On the outside, Latigo Shore. Down to the wire, and it is Discreetly Mine in 7 sensational furlongs. Bank Merger second, close for third, Latigo Shore, Hurricane Ike.
Speed continued to hold quite nicely as Discreetly Mine picks up the victory by a length and 3/4 on the front end, and he did come under quite a bit of early pressure. The fractions tell the story. Bulldogger pressing him in the early going. He came under a little bit further pressure by Hurricane Ike as they were turning for home, but Discreetly Mine turns them all away and scores as he had done in the Amsterdam earlier in the meet on August 2nd. He returns here at Saratoga victorious once again. He scores over Bank Merger and Latigo Shore, who are a bit of outsiders in the field. Bank Merger off of a recent very fast allowance performance, and Latigo Shore, who had been up the track running 4th in the Amsterdam last out. Discreetly Mine is a 3-year-old bay son of Mineshaft from Pretty Discreet by private account. Bred in Kentucky by E. Paul Robsham and owned by the E. Paul Robsham Stables Limited, trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Discreetly Mine covers the 7 in 123.16. Next up, we will head right back to Saratoga and the Grade 1 Travers for 3-year-olds.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the Travers Stakes. Trap Shot took a little bump at the break. Miners Reserve, though, comes away with that lead. First Dude is right up close early, too. So is A Little Warm. So is Friend or Foe. So, too, Super Saver on the far outside. So it's Miners Reserve and First Dude who go head-to-head into the clubhouse turn here. Trap Shot over at the inside runs along in third. A Little Warm is 4th in the early going. Admiral Alex is up there with the pacemakers. He's in behind them running along in 5th. Friend or Foe, smack dab in the middle of the pack, is now 6th. The Fleet Express is now 7th. And Super Saver, the Derby winner, is 8th after the opening quarter mile. Then there's a break of 6 back to Fly Down and a Fleet again. And the last of them all is stretch running Icebox. down the backstretch run after a 47 and 1 opening half mile. This pace is legitimate with Miners Reserve and First Dude right alongside. But First Dude is on hold. Ramon Dominguez doesn't want to move with him yet. He's right there sitting chilly, a cool and calculated second. And a little warm is a tracking third just on the outside there of Trap Shot, who's fourth at the rail with the half mile to go. 3/4 in 1, 11 and 1. Friend or Foe still running in sixth. Super Saver is seventh on the inside. He's only about 5 lengths from the lead. As they round the far turn, it is still Miners Reserve. First Dude, they're 1-2. A Little Warm is revving up. Fly Down is coming like a shot on the far outside, and here he comes. It's wide open. Trap Shot is in behind horses. Super Saver down toward the inside. 3/16 from the line. Miners Reserve of Fleet Express comes on through between horses. Fly Down comes charging on the outside. 1 furlong to go. It's a Fleet Express. A Fleet Express with a narrow lead. Fly Down is surging down to those two. A Fleet Express and Fly Down. It's desperately close. It is too close to call. It is too close to call. A Fleet Express and Fly Down are a nostril apart on the wire at the end of this Travers Stakes.
Fleet Express had his nose down on the wire, and it was a very exciting stretch run as a Fleet Express got through between horses. Fly Down taking the overland route, the two of them coming together late in the stretch and right under the wire together. It was noses apart, and Fleet Express on the inside under Javier Castellano scores the victory off of a third last time out in the Grade 2 Jim Dandy here at Saratoga. Fly Down completes the exacta. First Dude, who found himself in the pace pressing role in the early going as Miners Reserve took the lead into the first turn, completes the order of the top 3. The winner of Fleet Express is a dark Bayer Brown 3-year-old son of a Fleet Alex from Expanse by Distant View. Bred in Kentucky by McMillan Brothers and James Devaney, owned by Gainesway Farm and Martin Cherry, trained by Jimmy Jerkins and ridden to victory by Javier Castellano, was certainly having an outstanding meet here at Saratoga. And of course, this is a breakout win for trainer Jimmy Jerkins, the son of the great trainer Alan Jerkins, who has been out on his own now for a number of years. And I believe this is his first victory in the Travers Stakes. Under Javier Castellano, a Fleet Express covers the 1.25 miles here at Saratoga in 2:03.28. We've still got another Grade 1 race for the weekend. That, of course, Sunday's running of the Grade 1 Personal Ensign for fillies and mares at 1.25 miles.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Rachel Alexandra gets off to an alert beginning and has gone to the front in the first 100 yards. But here's Life at 10 and's not going to let Rachel Alexandra get away. So the race is on as they move for the clubhouse turn. Rachel Alexandra and Life at 10 is glued to her into the clubhouse turn. As Calvin Burrell floats his rival wide into the turn, Rachel Alexandra leads the way, hounded all the way by Life at 10. Well behind are the other 3, Missing 6 persistently, and Class of 63. 23 and 3 was the opening 1/4 mile. Rachel Alexandra, the reigning horse of the year, shadowed intently by Life at 10. Their opening half mile was 47 and 3/5 seconds, but there's still 5.5 furlongs remaining here, and they continue in tandem down the backstretch as this chess game continues between Calvin Burrell and Johnny Velasquez. Burrell and champion Rachel Alexandra, Life at 10 and Johnny Velasquez, they have been 1-2 inches apart. They're still that way with a half mile to go. They've run 3/4 mile in tandem in 1:12 flat. 7 lengths to persistently third, and then Missing 6 on the inside fourth. Around the far turn, just a bit more rain for Rachel. Rachel leads 3/4 length. Life at 10 right with her. Here comes Persistently, who's going to arrive at the scene at the quarter pole. And now the field turns for home. Top of the stretch at Saratoga. Rachel Alexandra has turned back. Life at 10. Persistently's going to run at her into the final furlong. And Rachel digs down. Here's Persistently trying to pull off an upset. It is still Rachel Alexandra. Persistently is running at her, and Persistently has defeated Rachel Alexandra here at Saratoga. Well behind in third was Life at 10. Persistently, wearing the silks of Personal Ensign, has won the Personal Ensign at the Spa.
Persistently scores the win from Off the Pace, and it was a wild pace as Rachel Alexandra pressed by Life at 10. Those two fillies go out to about a 10-length margin at one point on the remainder of the field. They were well out in advance as they turned up the back stretch. Rachel Alexandra on the front, Life at 10 pressing. Life at 10, who had been a very, very determined front runner earlier on in her career, obviously had shown some stamina. She won the Delaware Handicap at 1.25 miles on the front end, but she tired first. Rachel Alexandra going on with it, but not having quite enough left to hold off the steady run under Alan Garcia of Persistently, who was in off of an allowance victory last time out right here at Saratoga on the 30th of July. Persistently scores the victory by a length over Rachel Alexandra. It was 10+ lengths back to Life at 10 in the third spot. The winner, Persistently, is a chestnut 4-year-old filly, a daughter of Smoke Glacken from Just Reward by Deputy Minister. Bred in Kentucky by the Phipps stable and owned by the breeder, trained by Shug McGahee and ridden to victory by Alan Garcia. The Phipps family takes the Personal Ensign, of course named for arguably one of their greatest racehorses, the great Personal Ensign, running her career undefeated and honored obviously here at Saratoga with this important race named for her. Persistently under Alan Garcia completes the 1.25 miles with a determined run in 2:04.49. That'll wrap up another busy edition of Horses and Courses. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll be able to join us once again next week as we wrap up a terrific Saratoga meeting in our next edition of Horses and Courses. Until then, I'm Jean Wood. Have a great week at the races.